through the course of time, whether it be a king or a ruler, whenever he should gain control of this land, if he maintains this law and prays for us with my blessings, may the praises of all my deceased ancestors and gods be upon him. May all sorts of catastrophes strike those who defy this law and disrespect the gods. All the prayers and curses were to be of no avail. His last will and testament was never acquiesced to. Nobody, including his sons and grandchildren, ever said a prayer for Antiochus. Nevertheless, the greatest desire of this madman has been fulfilled. Documentaries about him are being made 2 millennia on. Visitors from throughout the world flock to his grave, and policies based on checks and balances, which are the only way to peace in the region, are being maintained. Even if the secrets of the Commagenes are still safe, Antiochus is regarded as one of the greatest statesmen this world has ever known. Antiochus, the king of the sun, is challenging the ages established on his throne. Anatolia was going through one of its most intricate periods. It was a time when invasions by the Romans from the west and Persians from the east continued relentlessly to seek hegemony over Anatolia. Jesus hadn't been born yet, and monotheism had yet to take root in these lands. The small states of Anatolia were faced with two choices: either surrender to Rome or surrender to Persia. Antiochus rejected both choices and chose his own path. He was to preserve his independence through balanced diplomacy, relying on the fact that Alexander the Great was his ancestor on his mother's side, and Darius the Great was his ancestor on his father's side. Antiochus rightfully believed that everything was fair play in his effort to maintain independence. He brought two of the most powerful deities together at the 2,150-meter summit of Mount Nemrut. I created a common homeland for all the gods in a kingdom bound to my throne. He foresaw that religion was to become the most crucial unifying force. The statues that Antiochus had commissioned were to become amongst the most mysterious and splendid works to adorn these lands. This site was instantly regarded the eighth wonder of the world the day it was rediscovered. While the secrets surrounding the tumuli and statues perched atop Nemrut remain unsolved even today, archaeology academics put the mystery of Nemrut on par with that with the Egyptian pyramids. The most renowned of these statues is referred to by the names of the Roman and Persian deities, Zeus Oramazdes. To his left sits Apollo Mithras, and to his right sits Commagene Fortuna. Heracles, who was known in Anatolia as Hercules, is next to them, whereas at the head of the row is none other than Antiochus himself. He is right there amidst the gods of the west and the east. There are statues of eagles and lions on both sides. While the eagle was the sacred symbol of the Commagene dynasty, the lion was the protector of Commagene. I didn't want to rest in eternity after my God-forsaken soul journeyed to the heavenly throne of Zeus Oromastes. I also decided this would be the common throne of all the gods. Antiochus' ideal of an east and west synthesis was immortalized with statues of gods of the east and west terraces on his mountain. While each of the statues stands 10 meters high, each of the stone blocks positioned one atop the other weigh approximately 7 to 8 tons. How each block was cut and transported to the summit remains a mystery. Just how were such huge massive stone blocks transported all the way here in such difficult terrain with the primitive technology of those days? Clues regarding the construction techniques are provided by the holes on either side of the stone blocks. Extensions of a giant lifting apparatus were positioned in these holes to move the huge blocks from place. I held the great gods in eternal esteem as part of my youthful destiny. The sunrise viewed from atop Nemrut is a veritable natural wonder. Together with Antiochus, the gods of the east and west witness this beautiful scene on every occasion. An altar lies opposite the throne of the gods on the east terrace, used to slaughter a sacrifice to the gods at sunrise. This fire altar currently serves as an observation platform for visitors to Mount Nemrut. A statue of a lion, hewn from the green sandstone, waits right next to the altar. There is a gallery of ancestors situated on each of the two terraces. The reliefs on the right side of the throne, on the east terrace, are devoted to his maternal relatives, while those featured on the left side are devoted to his paternal relatives. The gallery of ancestors on the west terrace is situated directly across the throne of the gods. Antiochus is depicted receiving the gods in 4 of the 5 sandstone reliefs found in the north gallery. This reception bears testimony that Antiochus was deified with the other gods. There are minute variations between the statues on both terraces, which stem from the fact that they were crafted by different sculptors. The world's oldest known horoscope is also found on this summit. Referred to as the Lion Horoscope, it has been sent to the laboratory to heal the wounds inflicted over a life spanning more than 2 millennia. In revealing an astronomical event which only occurs once every 25,000 years, this horoscope indicates the date 14th of July, 109 BC, and even goes as far as providing the calculation of the precise time of this particular event, 7:37 p.m. On its own merits, the Lion horoscope reflects astronomical data that exceeds all the known ages. Despite all this, the true secret of Nemrut lies in the tomb of Antiochus, beneath the tumulus. The entrance to the tomb of Antiochus lies hidden behind 30,000 cubic meters of cut stone. Millions of stones from the same quarry were specially cut in sizes that resemble each other to a striking degree. Though the entrance to the conical-shaped tumulus still is not known for certain, it is believed that it is entered from beneath one of the feet of the statues on the east terrace. There are claims that the tomb is accessed via a tunnel. The Romans sealed off the entrance to the tomb in such a fashion that it has yet to be found. Estimated to have measured 60 meters high when originally erected, erosion and collapse has most likely lowered the tumulus to a height of 50 meters. It doesn't seem possible to reach the tomb today without damaging the tumulus. In order for this arrangement to remain permanent, I have bequeathed a sacred writ in accordance with the edicts of the gods, whereby I had this inscribed upon untouchable stelae. Because the long-term preservation of these is not only a religious duty for people of sound judgment, it is for our honor as well as the most holy expectations that one holds for his or her destiny. Thus, Antiochus' last will and testament is proclaimed on the back side of the statues of the throne of the gods. The text of the great cult inscription reminded the world of the existence of a nation called Commagene, one that had been forgotten for exactly 1,800 years. Unfortunately, the Commagene nation of faithful and wealthy people was forced to retreat from the stage of history shortly afterwards. Information regarding Commagene was obscured in Roman sources. Fine, so what made this tiny, short-lived state of Anatolia so important? It is said that Caesar had uttered the phrase, "I came, I saw, I conquered," in Anatolia. However, though they might have besieged it twice, neither Caesar nor Marcus Antonius could have conquered Commagene, and Samsat wouldn't fall. Samsat, which had eventually become a center of the sciences, still survives long after the Roman and Persian empires retreated from the pantheon of history. It was to continue its existence until it was submerged beneath the waters of the Ataturk Reservoir just a few years ago. No matter what they do, God's servants are mortal, whereas civilization is eternal. Historians don't really know that this was the reason that ancient Rome was defeated by a tiny state that was squeezed by two imperial powers. Though the Commagene state reached its demise, the Gendere Bridge, which was constructed during the reign of the Roman Emperor Septimus Severus, is testimony that the Commagene civilization lived on. The history of Adıyaman and its environs go back 40,000 years before Christ. These mountains were the cradle of countless civilizations throughout history. The Hittites, the Hurrians, the Phrygians, the Assyrians, the Scythians, the Persians, the Macedonians, the Comagenians, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Emavids, the Abbasids, the Hamdanis, the Ayyubis, the Anatolian Seljuks, the Artuks, the Zengis, the Mamluks, the Tamerlane Empire, as well as the Ottomans. Topsoil and mineral deposits are bountiful. The air is fine and water is plentiful. There is a heavy price to pay for this wealth, as the land doesn't easily change hands in these parts. Wars, invasions, and destruction occurred unabated. One day it is Alexander the Great, another day it is Caesar, while Tamerlane passed through here as well. Some left lasting monuments, while others were left beheaded. The archaeological world was stunned by the discovery of the incredible statues of Nemrut in the late 19th century. Let's leave it to Antiochus to reveal the secret of how such a temple was constructed at a height of 2,150 meters. One of the inscriptions found at the site uncannily tells of all the subsequent events which were to unfold. The great king and god Antiochus has recorded these words upon these sacred foundations with the purpose of glorifying his name until the end of time. And the purpose of the throne of the gods is accomplished. Commagene has regained its rightful place amongst the countless Anatolian civilizations, never to be forgotten again. Anatolia, as old as history itself, as mysterious as history itself. The earth reveals one tale, the stones another, and the water yet another still. The name is a tale in itself. It means the place of the rising sun in Greek. With such a name, this is the peak where sun rises most spectacularly over all of the lands of Anatolia. The finest sunrises and sunsets occur at Nemrut. For Anatolia, the tale of Commagene, which lasted 2,000 years, is as brief as the interval between a sunrise and a sunset. However, Antiochus bequeathed us with such a work of art. Each day, while the sun rises, people from all over the world climb to the summit with no regard for the heat, the cold, or the ice. Another prediction in the inscription of the great king Antiochus, who ruled over that small nation, was realized. This place will no longer remain desolate.